Act 1 of Melicerte, a heroic pastoral by Moliere, translated by Henri von Laon, 1820 through 1896. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Melicerte, a heroic pastoral in 2 acts. Dramatis Personae.
Myrtil, in love with Melicerte, read by Adrian
Acanthe, in love with Daphne, read by Dale Burgess.
Tyrene, in love with Eroxene, read by David Purdy.
Lycarsis, herdsman, supposed father to Myrtil, read by Todd.
Nicandre, a shepherd, read by Alan Mapstone.
Mopse, shepherd, supposed uncle to Melicerte, read by Andrew Gauntz.
Melicerte, shepherdess, read by Avaï.
Daphne, shepherdess, read by Kathi Marie Walshek.
Eroxene, shepherdess, read by Sonia.
Corinne, confidant of Melicerte, read by WendyKatzHiller.
Stage Directions, read by Kelly Taylor. Scene: Thessaly, in the valley of Tempe. Melicerte, Act 1. Scene 1. Daphne, Eroxene, Acanthe, Tyrene.
Ah, charming Daphne.
Too lovely, Eroxene.
Leave me, Acanthe.
Do not follow me, Tyrene.
Acanthe, to Daphne.
Why do you drive me away?
Tyrene, to Eroxene.
Why do you fly from me?
Daphne, to Acanthe.
You please me most when far away.
Eroxene, to Tyrene.
I love to be where you are not.
Why not cease this killing severity?
Why not cease to be so cruel?
Why not cease your useless protestations?
Why not cease to bore me?
I die with grief unless you pity them.
Unless you succor me, my death is but too sure.
Unless you go, I leave this place.
If you remain, I say goodbye.
Well, be it so. To please you, I will go.
When I am gone, I am sure you will be pleased.
Generous Eroxene, vouchsafe, for pity's sake, to say a word or two to her in favor of my passion.
Obliging Daphne, speak to this inhuman creature, and learn whence proceeds so much hatred towards me.
Scene 2. Daphne, Eroxene.
Acanthe has some merit and loves you dearly. How is it that you treat him so harshly?
Tyrene has much worth and pines for your love. Whence comes it that, without pity, you behold him shedding tears?
Since I put the question first, it is but fair that you should answer before me.
All Acanthe's attentions make no impression on me, because I care for someone else.
I treat Tyrene with harshness because another is master of my heart.
May I know this choice which you conceal?
Yes, if you tell me this secret of yours.
I can easily satisfy your wish without telling you the name of him I love. I have an admirable portrait of him in my pocket, the work of Addis, that inimitable painter, so like him in every feature that I am sure you will recognize him at a glance.
I can satisfy you by the same means, and repay your secret in the like coin. I also have a lovely portrait by this famous painter of the object of my affections, so like him in every feature and in his exceeding grace, that you will name him at first sight.
The case which the painter has had made for me is exactly like yours.
It is true. They are exactly alike, and certainly Attis must have had them made together.
Let us now, by means of these few tints, show each other the secret of our hearts.
Let us see who will soonest understand this language, and which work speaks most plainly.
This is a droll mistake, and you have made a nice blunder. Instead of your portrait, you have given me back my own.
Indeed, I have. I do not know how I came to do it.
Give it me. It is because you were dreaming.
What is the meaning of this? I believe we are joking with each other. You have made the same blunder as I have with the portraits.
This is certainly enough to make one laugh. Give it me back again.
Eroxene, placing the two portraits side by side.
This is the true way not to make a blunder.
Is this an allusion to my preoccupied senses?
Is my mind affecting my eyes?
Myrtil is shown to me in this work.
Of Myrtil's features I see the image.
It is young Myrtil who has kindled my flame.
It is to young Myrtil that all my wishes tend.
I came today to entreat you to tell how his merits interest me in his lot.
I came to ask you to assist me in my affections, to help me to gain his heart.
Is this affection with which he inspires you so powerful?
Is your love for him so violent?
He could inflame the coldest heart, and his budding charms must delight everyone.
Not a nymph but would esteem herself happy in loving him. Diana herself might without shame be enamored of him.
Nothing but his bright presence charms me nowadays, and had I 100 hearts, they shall all be his.
He blots every other sight from my eyes, and had I a sceptre, he should be master of it.
It would be useless then to try to tear this love from our breasts. Our hearts are too steadfast in their wishes. Only let us try, if possible, to remain friends, and since we both have formed the same designs for the same youth, let us act with the utmost candor in this matter, and not take a mean advantage of each other. Let us hasten together to Lycarsis, and confide to him our tender feelings for his son.
I can hardly conceive, so great is my surprise, how such a son could spring from such a father. His shape, his mien, his words, his eyes, all make you believe that the blood of the gods runs in his veins. But I consent. Let us go and find the father. Let us open our hearts to him, and agree that Myrtil shall decide by his own choice afterwards this contest of our desires.
Be it so. I perceive Lycarsis with Mopse and Nicandre. They will leave him, perhaps. Let us hide ourselves till they do.
Scene 3. Lycarsis, Mopse, Nicandre. Nicandre to Lycarsis.
Tell us your news.
Ah, how you press me. It does not do to tell these things as you imagine.
What silly ceremonies and what tomfoolery. Menalcas does not make more to sing.
Amongst the busybodies in political matters, the divulging of news generally causes a great stir. I wish to be considered as rather a man of importance, and enjoy your impatience a little longer.
Do you wish to tire us both by your delay?
Do you take pleasure in making yourself a bore?
Prithee, speak out, and stop these grimaces.
Ask me both in a decent manner, and tell me what you will give me if I do as you wish.
Plague take the fool. Let us leave him, Nicandre. He is more anxious to tell than we are to hear. His news weighs him down, he wishes to get rid of it, and we will just vex him by not listening.
Eh?
It serves you right for your ado.
I will tell it you then. Listen.
Not at all.
What? You do not wish to hear me?
No.
Very well. I will not say a word, and you shall know nothing.
All right.
You shall not know, then, that the king has come to honour Tempe with his presence in the most magnificent style, and that he made his entry into Larissa yesterday afternoon, and that I saw him there comfortably installed with a whole court, that these woods will be rejoiced today at the sight of him, and that there are a great many rumours abroad in connection with his visit.
We do not wish to know anything.
I have seen 100 things there delightful to behold, nothing but great lords, glittering and brilliant from head to foot, as if dressed for a holiday. They astonish one's eyes, and are more dazzling than our meadows at springtime with all their flowers. As for the prince himself, he is easily known amongst all the rest. He looks like a grand monarch a mile off. There is a something about him that makes you tell at once that he is a master king. He performs his part with matchless grace, and to say the truth, it suits him admirably. You would hardly believe how everyone at court eagerly watches for a glance. There reigns around him a pleasant confusion, and one would think it a swarm of brilliant insects following everywhere a sweet honeycomb. In short, I have seen nothing so lovely under the canopy of heaven, and our much-cherished feast of Pan is a mere piece of trash compared with this spectacle. Since you seem so proud, I keep my news to myself, and shall tell nothing.
And we do not in the least wish to hear you.
Go to the right about.
Go and hang yourself.
Scene 4. Eroxene, Daphne, Lycarsis. Lycarsis, believing himself alone.
That is the way to punish people when they are foolish and impertinent.
Heaven always preserve your flock, shepherd.
May Ceres always keep your barns full of corn.
And may the great Pan give to each of you a husband, who will love you much and be worthy of you.
Ah, Lycarsis, our wishes tend to the same end.
Both our hearts sigh for the same object.
And that boy Cupid, the cause of all our languor, has borrowed from you the darts with which he wounds our hearts.
And we have come here to seek your countenance, and to see which of us two shall have the preference.
Nymphs?
For this alone we sigh.
I am...
For this happiness only we wish.
We express our thoughts somewhat freely.
Why so?
Good breeding seems somewhat outraged.
Not at all.
But when the heart is consumed with the noble flame, one may without any shame make a candid avowal of it.
We may be allowed this freedom, and the beauty of our heart's choice warrants it.
You shock my modesty by flattering me thus.
No, no, affect no modesty in this case.
In short, all our happiness is in your keeping.
Our only hope depends on you.
Shall we find any difficulty in you?
Ah.
Tell me, shall our wishes be rejected?
No. Heaven has given me no cruel heart. I take after my late wife, and I feel, like her, a great sympathy with the desires of others, and I am not the man to show much pride.
Then grant us, Myrtil, to our ardent love.
And allow his choice to adjust our quarrel.
Myrtil?
Yes, it is Myrtil whom we desire of you.
Of whom did you think we were speaking?
I do not know. But Myrtil is not of an age to take the yoke of matrimony upon himself.
His growing merit may strike other eyes, and we wish to secure too precious a possession, to forestall others, and to brave fortune under the firm ties of a common bond.
As by his wit and other brilliant qualities he is out of the common order and outstrips time, so shall our affection for him do the same, and regulate all his wishes according to his exceeding merit.
It is true that for his age he sometimes surprises me, and that this Athenian, who stayed with me for 20 months, finding him so handsome, took a fancy to fill his mind with his philosophy. He has made him so clever upon certain subjects that, great as I am, he often puzzles me. But after all, he is still a child, and his knowledge is mixed with a great deal of innocence.
He is not such a child, but that I, who see him every day, believe him somewhat lovesick already, and I have noticed many a thing that shows that he is after Melicerte.
They may be in love with each other, and I can see—
Nonsense! As for her, I do not say. She is 2 years older than he, and 2 years with her sex means a great deal. But as for him, he dreams of nothing but play, I think, and of his little vanities of being dressed like the shepherds of lofty rank.
In short, we wish by the marriage tie to attach his fortune to ours.
We are both equally eager to assure ourselves beforehand of the mastery of his heart.
I feel myself more honored than you would think. I am but a poor herdsman, and it is certainly too much glory that 2 nymphs of the highest rank in the land should contend for making my son their husband. Since he pleases you so much, let the matter be arranged in this way. I consent that his choice shall adjust your dispute, and she, whom his decree shall set aside, may marry me in compensation if she likes. By all events, it is the same blood and almost the same thing. But here he is. Allow me to prepare him a little. He has some sparrow newly caught, and this is nearly all his love and attachment.
Scene 5. Eroxene, Daphne, and Lycarsis at the further end of the stage. Myrtil. Myrtil, believing himself alone, carrying a sparrow in a cage.
Innocent little bird, that thus before me beat your wings so violently against your prison walls, bewail not your loss of freedom. Yours is a glorious fate. I have caught you for Melicerte. She will kiss you, and take you in her hands, and grant you the favour of nestling in her bosom. Can there be a sweeter and a happier lot? O happy little sparrow, where is the king that would not change places with you?
A word with you, Myrtil. Leave these playthings alone. It is a question of something else than sparrows. These 2 nymphs, Myrtil, lay claim to you at the same time, and young as you are, desire you for their husband. I am to secure you to them by marriage, and they wish you to choose one of them.
These nymphs?
Yes. Of the 2, you must select one. Look at the happiness in store for you, and bless your good fortune.
Can this proffered choice be deemed happiness, if my heart does not in the least wish for it?
At least acknowledge it, and respond properly and without confusion to the honour intended for you.
Behold, Myrtil, notwithstanding the pride which reigns amongst us, 2 nymphs who offer themselves to you. The marvellous promise of your worth reverses the order of things in this case.
We believe you, Myrtil, as the best judge in that matter, to consult your own eyes and heart, nor will we influence your choice by a flowery description of our own perfections.
You intend me an honour, the greatness of which dazzles me, but I confess that this honour is too great for me. I must oppose your exceeding goodness. I am of too little worth to deserve such fortune, and however great its attractions might be, I should be sorry that, for my sake, you should be blamed for having chosen beneath you.
Comply with our wishes, whatever may be said of it, and do not trouble yourself with the care of our glory.
No, do not think so humbly of yourself, and leave us to be the judges of your deserts.
Even the proffered choice opposes itself to your expectations, and alone would prevent my heart from satisfying you. How am I to choose between 2 great beauties, equal in birth and rare perfections? To reject either would be a terrible crime, and it is much more reasonable to choose neither.
But in refusing to comply with our desires, instead of 1, you offend 2, Myrtil.
Since we were willed to abide by your decision, you cannot defend yourself with these reasons.
Well then, if these reasons do not satisfy you, This one will. I love other charms, and I feel full well that a heart which a beautiful object engrosses is indifferent and deaf to all other advantages.
What now? What means all this? Who could have thought it? And do you know, boy, what love is?
Without knowing it myself, my heart does.
But this love displeases me, and is not wanted.
If it displeases you, you ought not to have given me such a tender and sensitive heart.
But this heart that I have given you owes me obedience.
Yes, when it is in its power to obey.
But it ought not to love without my leave.
Why did you not hinder it, then, from being charmed?
Well, I forbid you to let this continue.
I am afraid your prohibition comes too late.
What? Has not a father superior rights?
Even the much greater gods cannot control our hearts.
The gods? Peace, little fool. This philosophy makes me...
Do not be angry. Pray.
No. He shall choose one of you, or I will whip him before your faces. Ha ha! I will let you know that I am your father.
Pray let us manage matters without anger.
May we inquire of you, Myrtil, the name of the charming object whose beauty has made you her swain?
Melicerte, madam. She may make others love her.
Do you compare her attractions to ours, Myrtil?
His choice between her and us is unequal enough.
Nymphs, in heaven's name, do not say any ill of her. Pray consider that I love her, and do not upset my mind. If by loving her I outrage your heavenly charms, she has no part in that crime. All the offence comes from me, if you please. It is true that I know the difference between you and her, but we cannot escape our fate. In short, nymphs, I feel that heaven has granted me all imaginable respect for you, but for her all the love of which a heart is capable. I perceive, by the blush that rises in your face, that my words do not please you. My heart fears to hear in your answer what may wound it in its most tender part, and to avoid such a blow, I prefer taking my leave of you, nymphs.
Hello, Myrtle, hello! Will you come back, you wretch? He is off, but we shall see who is master. Do not concern yourself about all these idle raptures. You shall have him for a husband. I answer with my life for that.
End of Act 1. Act 2 of Melicerte, an heroic pastoral by Moliere, translated by Henri von Loon, 1820 through 1896. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Melicerte, Act 2. Scene 1. Melicerte, Corinne.
Ah, Corinne, you have heard it from Stella, and she has got the news from Lycarsis.
Yes.
That Myrtil's charms have touched the hearts of Eroxene and Daphne.
Yes.
That they are so eager to secure him that both together have asked for his hand, and that, in their discussion, they have decided to claim it this very hour? How unwilling you are to speak, and how little my misfortune touches you.
But what would you have me say? This is the truth, and you repeat every word exactly as I told them to you.
But how does Lycarsis take this matter?
As an honor, I believe, that ought to please him mightily.
And do you not see, you who know my feelings so well, that, alas, with these words you pierce me to the heart?
How so?
By showing me thus plainly that implacable fate makes me of so little consequence as compared with them. Is not the thought that they will be preferred to me on account of their rank enough to drive me mad?
But I only answer and say what I think.
Oh, you kill me with your indifference. But tell me, what feelings did Myrtil show?
I know not.
That is just what you ought to know, cruel girl.
In truth, I do not know what to do. Whatever I do, I am sure to displease you.
It is because you do not enter into the feelings of a heart too full, alas, of tender passion. Go, leave me alone in this solitude to pass a few moments of my anxiety.
Scene 2. Melicerte alone.
Behold, my heart, what it is to love. Too well Belize warned me of it. That darling mother before her death said to me, one day on the banks of the Peneus, "Beware, daughter, love always comes to young hearts surrounded by sweet guiles. At first it offers naught but what is agreeable, but it drags horrible troubles after it, and if you wish to pass your days in peace, ever defend yourself from its darts as from an evil." And oh, my heart, well did I remember those lessons, and when first I beheld Myrtil, when he played with me and paid me attentions, I always told you to delight less in them. But you believed me not, and your complacency soon changed into too much goodwill. You imagined naught but joy and pleasure from this budding love that flattered your desires. Now you behold the cruel misfortune with which fate threatens you in this ominous day, and the deadly pangs to which it reduces you. Ah, my heart, I warned you. But let us, if we can, conceal our grief. Here comes.
Scene 3. Myrtil, Melicerte.
I just now, charming Melicerte, took a little prisoner, which I have kept for you, and of which I may perhaps become jealous one of these days. It is a young sparrow, which I myself intend to tame with great care, and for your acceptance. The present is not great, but the gods themselves take note of the will only. The intention is everything, and it is never the value of presents that— But, heaven, whence this sadness? What ails you, Melicerte, and what dark sorrow is reflected in your dear eyes this morning? You do not answer me, and this mournful silence redoubles my anxiety and impatience. Speak, what has annoyed you? What is it?
It is nothing.
It is nothing, you say, and yet I see your eyes full of tears. Does this agree, fair charmer? Oh, do not kill me by concealing it, but explain to me what those tears mean.
It would do me no good to let you know this secret.
Ought you to have anything that I may not know? Do you not offend this day our loves by wishing to rob me of my share of your troubles? Oh, do not hide it from my affection.
Well, Myrtil, be it so. I must tell it you then. I have been informed that, by a choice very glorious for you, Eroxene and Daphne wish you for their husband, and I will confess, Myrtil, that I have the weakness of not being able to hear this without grief, without accusing fate of her rigorous law, which renders their desires preferable to mine.
And you can harbour this unjust grief? You can suspect my love of weakness, and you imagine that, bound by such sweet charms, I could ever be another's, that I would accept any other proffered hand? Ah, what have I done, cruel Melicerte, that you treat my tenderness so harshly, and judge my heart so badly? What, ought you even to doubt it? It makes me very wretched to suffer this suspicion. What is the good of love like mine, alas, when you are so ready to disbelieve it?
I would fear these rivals less, Myrtil, if things were equal on both sides. and were I of similar rank I might dare to hope that perhaps love would prefer me. But the inequality of wealth and birth, which makes the difference between them and me—
Ah, their rank will not conquer my heart, and your divine charms stand you instead of all. I love you, that is sufficient, and in you I see rank, wealth, treasures, state, sceptre, crown, were the greatest monarch's power offered to me. I would not change it for the bliss of possessing you. This is the sincere and unvarnished truth, which to doubt is an insult to me.
Well, Myrtil, since you wish it, I believe that your vows are not shaken by their rank, and that notwithstanding their nobility, riches, and beauty, your heart loves me well enough to love me better than them. But you will not follow the voice of love. Your father, Myrtil, will dictate your choice, and I am not dear to him, as I am to you, that he should prefer a simple shepherdess to aught else.
No, dear Melicerte, neither father nor God shall force me to discard your lovely eyes for ever, queen of my heart, as you are.
Ah, Myrtil, take care what you are doing. Do not indulge my heart with hope, which it would perhaps too willingly receive, and which, vanishing afterwards like a passing flash of lightning, would render my misfortune the more cruel.
What? Am I to invoke the aid of oaths, when I promise to love you for ever? How you wrong yourself by such alarms! How little you know the power of your charms! Well, since you wish it, I swear by the gods, and if that be not enough, I swear by your eyes, that I shall sooner be killed than leave you, accept here on the spot the pledge which I give you, and suffer my lips to seal the oath with transport on this fair hand.
Ah, Myrtil, get up for fear you may be seen.
Is there aught? But, O heavens, someone comes to disturb my bliss.
Scene 4. Lycarsis, Myrtil, Melicerte.
Do not let me disturb you.
Melicerte, aside.
Cruel fate.
Not at all bad, this. Go on, you two. Bless my heart, dear son, how tender you look, and how like a master you set about it already. Has this sage, whom Athens exiled, taught you all these pretty things in his philosophy? And you, my gentle shepherdess, who so sweetly gave him your hand to kiss, does honour teach you these tender wiles wherewith you thus debauch young hearts?
Refrain from these degrading insinuations, and do not pain me with a discourse that insults her.
I will speak to her, I will. All this billing and cooing.
I will not allow her to be abused. My birth obliges me to have some respect for you, but I shall be able to punish you upon myself for this outrage. Yes, I call heaven to witness that if, against my wishes, you utter again to her the least harsh word, I shall with this sword give her satisfaction. My pierced heart shall be your punishment, and my spilled blood promptly convince her how highly I disapprove of your anger.
Oh no, do not believe that I purposely inflame him, and that it is my design to seduce his heart. It is by his own free will that he cares to see me, and bears me some good will. I do not force him. Not that I wish to refrain from responding to his tender passion by an equally tender one. I love him. I own it as much as possible, but this attachment has nothing that ought to alarm you. And to disarm all your unjust fears, I promise you now to avoid his presence, to make room for the choice you have resolved upon, and not listen to his protestations of love, unless you wish it.
Scene 5. Lycarsis, Myrtil.
Well, now she is gone, you triumph. She has spoken, and you have obtained all that you desire. but know that you rejoice in vain, and that you will be disappointed in your expectations, and that, do what you will, all your power shall not shake my determination."
"What presumption is this, sirrah? Is this the way to talk to me?"
"Yes, I am wrong, it is true, and my anger is not seemly. I will change my tone, as becomes me, and I beseech you, my father, in the name of the gods, and by all that can be most dear to you, not to use in this conjuncture the supreme power which nature gives you over me. Do not embitter your most precious gifts. I owe my being to you, but shall I be indebted to you this day, if you render life unbearable to me? Without Melicerte, it becomes a torment. Nothing is of value to me without her divine charms. They contain all my happiness and all my desires, and if you take them away, you take life itself."
Lycarsis, aside.
He makes me share his heartfelt grief. Who would have ever thought it of the little rogue? What passion! What excitement! What talk for one of his age! It quite confuses me, and I feel that I am interested in his love.
Myrtil, throwing himself at Lycarsis' knees.
"Say, will you condemn me to die? You have but to speak. I am ready to obey."
Lycarsis, aside.
I can hold out no longer. He draws tears from me, and his tender words make me yield.
If in your heart a spark of friendship inspires you with the slightest pity for my fate, grant Melicerte to my ardent desire, and you will give me more than life.
Get up.
Will you take pity on my sighs?
Yes.
Shall I obtain the object of my desires?
Yes.
You will make her uncle give me her hand?
Yes, get up, I tell you.
Oh, best of fathers, let me kiss your hands after so much kindness.
Oh, how weak a father is for his children. Can we refuse aught to their tender words? Do we not feel some sweet emotions within us when we reflect that they are part of ourselves?
But will you keep your given promise? Tell me that you will not change your mind.
No.
If anyone should make you change your feelings, have I your leave to disobey you? Say.
Yes. Ah, nature, nature. I will go and see Mopse, and acquaint him with the love his niece and you have for each other.
How much I owe to your exceeding kindness.
Alone.
What happy news to tell Melicerte! I would not accept a crown in exchange for the pleasure of telling her this marvellous success that will please her so much.
Scene 6. Acanthe, Tyrene, Myrtil.
Ah, Myrtil, the charms which you have received from heaven are the cause of tears in us. Their dawning beauty, so fatal to our desires, robs us of the hearts of those we love.
May we inquire, Myrtil, which of these two fair ones you will choose, of which there is so much talk, and upon which of us two the blow is to fall that shatters all our expectant affections?
Do not let two lovers pine any longer. Tell us what fate your heart prepares for us.
It is better, when one fears such terrible misfortune, to be killed outright by one blow, than to linger so long.
Let your love resume its calm career, noble shepherds. The lovely Melicerte has captivated my heart. My lot is sweet enough with her not to wish to encroach upon you, and if your passions have only mine to fear, neither of you will have any cause to complain.
Can it be, Myrtil, that two sad lovers...
Can it be true that heaven giving way to our tortures?
Yes, content with my fetters as with a victory, I have declined this choice, so full of glory. I have also changed my father's wishes, and made him consent to my happiness.
Acanthe to Tyrene.
Ah, what a charming, miraculous adventure this is, and what a great obstacle it removes to our pursuits.
It may restore these nymphs to our love, and be the means of making us both happy.
Scene 7. Nicandre, Myrtil, Acanthe, Tyrene.
Do you know where Melicerte may be found?
What do you mean?
She is being looked for everywhere.
And why?
We shall soon lose this beauty. It is for her that the king has come hither. It is said that he will marry her to some great lord.
Oh, heaven, explain these words, I pray.
They are important and mysterious events. Yes, the king has come to seek Melicerte in these spots, and they say that formerly her mother Belize, of whom all Tempe believe Mopse to be the brother. But I have undertaken to look for her everywhere. You shall know all about it by and by.
Oh, great gods, what a calamity! Nicandre, Nicandre!
Let us follow him, that we may know all.
End of Act 2. End of Melicerte. A heroic pastoral in 2 acts by Molière. Translated by Henri von LAUN.
A Comic Pastoral by Moliere. Translated by Henri von LAUN, 1820-1896. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Introductory Notice. The Pastoral Comique was probably represented before the court on the 5th January 1667. It formed part of the Ballet of the Muses, and most likely replaced the unfinished Melicerte when the ballet was again given in the beginning of that month. We cannot now discover what plan Molière has followed, or what he intended with the Pastoral Comique. He himself suppressed or destroyed the manuscript, and we have now only the couplets which were sung, and which were preserved in the ballet book and in the musical partition. They show, according to some commentators, a violent desire in Molière to deaden his feelings. I confess that I can see in them only the ordinary words of an operatic libretto. We know that our author played the part of Lycas, after he had just been ill. It is possible that his hollow and lean features may intentionally have rendered more ridiculous his love declarations. Dramatis Personae.
Lycas, a rich shepherd in love with Iris. Read by Adrian Stephens.
Philene, a rich shepherd in love with Iris. Read by Dale Burgess.
A Shepherd. Read by David Purdy.
3 Magicians. Read by Devorah Allen.
A Magician. Read by Sonia.
The Gypsy. Read by Alan Mapstone.
Stage Directions. Read by Todd. Scene: Thessaly, in a small village in the valley of Tempe. A Comic Pastoral. Scene 1, Lycas Corydon. Blank. Scene 2, Lycas, dancing and singing musicians, demons. First entry of the ballet. 2 musicians begin dancing a kind of enchantment to beautify Lycas. They strike the ground with their wands, whereupon 6 demons spring from it, who join them. 3 more musicians appear from underground. 3 magicians singing,
Goddess of charms, refuse us not the favor which our lips implore of you. We beseech you for it by your ribbons, by your diamond buckles, by your paint and powder, by your patches, your mask, your headdress, and your gloves. O you, who can beautify the plainest faces, deign to spread, O Venus, 2 or 3 charitable doses of your charms over this freshly clipped snout.
Goddess of charms, refuse us not the favor which our lips implore of you. We beseech you for it, by your ribbons, by your diamond buckles, by your paint and powder, by your patches, your mask, your headdress, and your gloves.
Second entry of the ballet. The 6 dancing demons dress Lycas up in a ridiculous and strange fashion. The 3 magicians singing,
Ah, how lovely the youngster is now! Ah, how lovely, how lovely! How many fair ones he will kill! The most cruel maids will jump out of their skin when they approach him. Ah, how lovely the youngster is now! Ah, how lovely, how lovely! Ho, 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 ho.
Third entry of the ballet. The magicians and the demons continue their dancing, whilst the 3 singing magicians continue to make fun of Lycas.
How fair is he, how pretty and polished! How fair is he, how fair is he! Are there any eyes that can withstand him? He is more lovely than the late Narcissus, who was a consummate beau. How fair is he, how pretty and polished! How fair is he! He, 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 he.
The 3 singing magicians disappear in the ground, and the dancing magicians exeunt at the sides. Scene 3. Lycas, Philene. Philene, without perceiving Lycas, sings,
Browse, my pretty lambs, the sprouting grass. These meadows and these brooks have something to charm you. But if you wish to live content forever, dear little innocents, beware of love.
Lycas, without perceiving Philene, and wishing to compose some verses for his mistress, pronounces the name of Iris loud enough for Philene to hear it.
Is it you whom I hear, audacious wretch? Is it you who dare pronounce the name of her who holds me neath her sway?
Yes, it is I. Yes, it is I.
How dare you in any way profane that lovely name?
Eh? Why not? Why not?
Iris charms my soul, and whosoever shall dare to indulge in the slightest spark of love for her will repent of it.
I do not care for that. I do not care for that.
I will strangle and eat you, if ever you name my fair. Whatever I say I do, I will strangle and eat you. It is enough that I have sworn it. Even if the gods take your part, I will strangle and eat you, if ever you name my fair.
Nonsense, nonsense.
Scene 4. Iris, Lycas, blank. Scene 5. Lycas, a cowherd. A cowherd brings Lycas a challenge from Philene, his rival, blank. Scene 6. Lycas, Corydon, blank. Scene 7. Philene, Lycas. Philene sings,
Stay, wretch, turn around and let us see which of us 2 shall gain the day.
Lycas hesitates to fight.
Enough of chatter. Come, you must die.
Scene 8. Philene, Lycas, 8 peasants. The peasants rush in to separate Philene and Lycas. Fourth entry of the ballet. The peasants begin to quarrel among themselves while they are trying to separate the 2 shepherds, and dance while fighting. Scene 9. Corydon, Lycas, Philene, peasants. Corydon, by speaking to them, finds means to appease the dispute of the peasants. Fifth entry of the ballet. The reconciled peasants dance together. Scene 10. Corydon, Lycas, Philene, blank. Scene 11. Iris, Corydon, blank. Scene 12. Philene, Lycas, Iris, Corydon. Lycas and Philene, the 2 lovers of the shepherdess, press her to decide which of them she prefers. Philene, to Iris.
Do not expect me to boast about the choice regarding which you hesitate. You can see I love you. That tells you enough.
The shepherdess decides in favor of Corydon. Scene 13. Philene, Lycas.
Alas, can anyone feel more poignant grief? A menial shepherd is to us preferred. Oh, heavens!
Oh, fates!
What harshness!
What a blow!
So many tears!
And so much perseverance!
Such languor!
So much suffering.
Such protestations.
And such cares.
Such ardor.
So much love.
Are treated with so much disdain this day. Ah, cruel one.
Hard-hearted fair.
And tigress too.
Merciless maid.
Inhuman one.
You stubborn girl.
Ungrateful one.
Pitiless one.
You wish to kill us, then? It is well. We shall content you.
We shall obey you.
Philene, drawing his javelin.
Lycas, let us die.
Lycas, drawing his javelin.
Philene, let us die.
Let us end our sufferings with this steel.
Pierce.
Be firm.
Take courage.
Come, you first.
No, I will be last.
Since the same misfortune this day brings us together, let us depart together.
Scene 14. A shepherd, Lycas, Philene. The shepherd sings.
What folly to quit life for a fair one who rejects us. We might wish to quit this life for a lovely object's sake, whose heart favors us, but to die for the fair one who rejects us is folly.
Scene 15. A gypsy, dancing gypsies.
Relieve the torment of a poor heart. Of a poor heart relieve the suffering. In vain I depict my ardent flame. I see you laugh at my repining. Ah, cruel one, I die through so much harshness. Relieve the martyrdom of a poor heart. Of a poor heart relieve the suffering.
Sixth entry of the ballet. 12 gypsies, of whom 4 play the guitar, 4 the castanets, 4 the nacares, dance with the gypsy to the measure of her song.
Believe me, let us hasten, my Sylvia, and profit well by the precious time. Let us here satisfy our desires. The passions of our age invite us. You and I could not do better. Winter has covered our fields with ice, spring comes to take her place again, and to our pastures gives their charms. But when, alas, old age has chilled us, our happy days return no more. Let us seek all day naught but what pleases us. Let us both be earnest about it. Let pleasures be our business. Let us get rid of all our troubles. A time will come when we shall have enough of them. Winter has covered our fields with ice, spring comes to take her place again, and to our pastures gives their charms. But when, alas, old age has chilled our feelings, our happy days return no more.
End of the Comic Pastoral. End of 2 pastorals by Moliere, translated by Henri van Loon, 1820 to 1896.